Risky, where's Levi? You want to text him?
Okay. We got ourselves on to Facebook. Got ourselves on to Facebook. And we're going to get ready to get started in the Havdallah. For the night owls, now these long Shabbases, it's this is almost one of the longest Shabbases, but nice to have those who stay through the whole Shabbos and are ready to welcome in the week, Havdallah, and the story, as is the custom. Rise. Want to close the fan, please? Turn. No, don't turn.
Oh, no, here.
No, it isn't. You know, Risky, turn the light turning us in. No.
Hello, Sharon.
Okay, whatever, we'll make it. So, let's start the Havdallah now. Everyone on Zoom and on Facebook. Let's bring Shabbos into the week. Are you ready? Hine el Yeshua siyeftach v'lo yefchad ki yaziv imras yadaynoy v'yehi l'Yeshua u'shiyavtem mayim esasoim mimayne ya Yeshua ladino ya Yeshua alamcha ichasecha telam adinai tevay simanu mizgavano ya kesema adinai tevay zashiyadam v'teyavach Adinai Yoshia Melech Yaneinu V'Yaim Kareinu Ayodim Avoisayra V'Simcha V'Sasain V'Ikar Ain't the Alano, Kaisif Shwazasa, or the shame, Adina Voyakra, Sabri Marana, Marato Adina Elena Malachai, Lombere, Priagov. Marato Adina Elena Malachai, Lombere, Name Samim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Oirem yairei haoreishi Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavdil ben kodesh lechayil Benay lechayshech ben Yisrael amim ben yom Mashriye. Treasures in Mea Maasa, Barakatu Adinoya, Mabdul Kodesh, Echael. Put out the candles. The wine that we made, the kosher bracha. Take bracha for
Moshe disappeared.
Yeah.
What happened?
It froze. It's frozen.
Yeah.
Anyway, Shavua Tov, everybody.
Shavua Tov. It was your birthday, Chavez.
Yeah, birthday.
Oh yeah.
Hey, happy birthday.
I pray today for all my friends. Okay?
Thank you.
So, and you all my friends.
Thank you.
Rabbi, you're on mute. We can't hear you.
Somehow the computer went off a minute ago. But we're good now, and happy birthday, Ellie. A year of happiness.
Thank you very much.
And bless us all. Before we go to the story, give us the bracha.
Thanks.
Give a blessing, Ellie.
Give them blessing.
Well, I did it today. I did it. I told you that I told you last time that I was going to do for all my friends. And
Good.
Since you are my friends, I did it already.
Good. Beautiful. We
Now
want to hear it directly from you.
Now it's finished.
Good. It doesn't finish. It carried on for the whole year. The bracha.
But yes, I know. But the day is really the day of the birthday that counts.
Yeah. So I want to share.
Do we count this year? We didn't use it this year. Can we count it?
The what?
I have a friend whose birthday was a week ago. So he tells us, this week I didn't count it because it was the coronavirus. I didn't count.
It counts double. So I wanna share the story, and as we are celebrating so much around Shabbos, even though it can't be in Shul, and God willing soon we'll be able to have it, but we're celebrating around Shabbos. We do before Shabbos. We get together as a community. Even now, even though it's so late, we're still able to gather, some of us, and the people who are on Facebook and the people who watch it later. So I wanted to give a little story connected to Shabbos. As we know, the custom is to give a story of the Baal Shem Tov, but as one of the Rebbes said, not necessarily the Baal Shem Tov, any tzaddik, any inspiring story. So therefore, we share different stories at different times. So this is a story that happened in a shtetl, in a little town in townlet in Europe. Going back a while, we don't have the exact date of the story, but going back 150 years ago or so. So in the town lived a Rebbe, his name was Reb Baruch. And this Baruch, this town was a poor town. People struggled. They struggled to make a living. They struggled amongst their anti-Semitic neighbors in different ways. There was a town that had a very difficult struggle, but there was one shining light for the people in the town. And that shining light was Shabbos. When it came Shabbos, somehow they all found their way to the Rebbe Reb Baruch, to his table. And they used to come to his table and he used to teach them about the Parsha and inspire them. And they used to forget about all their problems and their worries and their poverty and their concerns. And it was just uplifting. And then they used to sing a song. And this Baruch, this Rebbe Baruch had a nephew who grew up in his house. His name was Yosela. And this Yosela had a beautiful voice. And whenever they used to sing, Yosela used to sing along, and his voice carried the day. It was so mesmerizing. It was so uplifting. It was so warm. And everyone loved him to hear him sing as well. And this was they looked forward the whole week. Was Shabbos what saved them. One Friday night, many people were in the house, and all of a sudden, in the middle of this moment when they were singing, and they heard noise from outside, and a bunch of fellow Jews came to the Rebbe, is a big problem, you got to help us, Rebbe, and a commotion, and they were screaming, and they were scared. The Rebbe tells one of them, do me a favor, one of you come here and tell me what's going on. So one of them comes and says, Rebbe, this is exactly what's happening right now. A few soldiers or a few people of the army of the local landowner burst into the house of Rabbeinu, he had a tobacco store. They burst into his house and they wanted him to sell them cigarettes. But Rabbeinu closed his store like all the Jews before Shabbos. And then he went home, sitting with his family by the meal, and they come in. So he says, soldiers, with all the deepest respect to you, and not with any chutzpah, with any type of audacity, but today is Shabbos, I don't open up my store, find somewhere else, I'll give you after Shabbos. And they started to scream like drunk anti-Semites. We said, what do you mean Shabbos? They took the table, they turned it over, they started to slap people around, and then they take this Beirach, and they say, you're going to open up the store for us. Not going to open up the store for us. All the Jews are going to suffer for the way you treated us. They didn't open up right away. And he said, we don't know what's going on. We don't know where they took him, but this is what's happening. You have to help us. You have to go to the local pirates. You have to go to the local governor and help us. You have to talk to him. So Baruch listens to what they're talking about. And he's thinking for a moment, he's saying, like, what can I do? He sees how broken they are, how tumult, how they're all confused, scared. So he says, Yossel, let's sing a new song. And they start singing a song. And at the beginning, people were saying, Rebbe, what's going on? We have to. But as the song went on, little by little, the crowd calmed down. They forgot about their worries. They all joined in the song. Soon they were all singing together. While they were all singing and it was calm and he got them calm, so he went over to one of the people of Baruch and he said, come with me and we'll take my nephew Yossel. I'm going to go to the governor and we're going to do something. So they go and they go to the governor's house. The governor knew whenever there's a problem, the rabbi ends up in his house. So he told his guy, his employee, that if someone comes to the house, keep him waiting. When I'm ready, I'll be ready to go. Meanwhile, the Baruch comes to the house dressed in his beautiful Shabbos clothes, his shtreimel, his long white beard, beautiful kapot, kaftan, and the one he took with him and his nephew dressed beautifully, distinguished. So when he comes to the governor's house, the man who was manning sort of the governor's house at night, he says, I came to see the governor. He said, sure, come in. He brings him in right away. And before long, the governor looks up and he sees his employee brought in, the Rebbe. So he starts screaming at him, why did you bring him in? Didn't I tell you to keep everyone by the door? I see people when I want, especially Jews. They're dirty Jews. They're worthless people. You're going to learn your lesson. And he's screaming at the governor, at his employee. And the employee says, I'm sorry, I saw such a distinguished person. I was sure you didn't want to make him wait. He was a new employee. And meanwhile, the governor is pacing back and forth. And the Baruch is waiting to talk to him. So the Baruch tells his nephew, Yossel, let's start singing a song. So Yossel turns to me scared. He sees the governor screaming, pacing back and forth like He's seething with anger. And he says, if I sing, maybe he's going to hurt me. He says, now, uncle. So the Baruch says, yeah, right now. Sing right now. And he starts singing the song. I guess there was a common song, one song or two songs that he loved very much. It was sing again and again. And as he started to sing the song, slowly the governor stopped pacing. And he stood in one place, like focused on Yossel, the kid. Seemed very moved. So when Yossel finished singing, he said to Rab Baruch, before you guys came in and before this little kid sang the song, I was very angry and I was going to punish you terribly and not going to help you. But somehow this kid has magic. That song they sang every Shabbos, the song that uplifted the Jewish people of that town every Shabbos. Said that song, it did something to me. What can I do for you? So Rab Baruch said, listen, your people came in, they ripped apart this guy's house, they took him away, no one knows where he is. You can't do that. You know that we're not being disrespectful. We keep Shabbos and we can't sell on Shabbos. So the governor says, I'm going to tell my men never to do this again. I'm going to tell them to let Baruch go back home. I apologize for whatever they did. But please, one request. Please have this little boy, this Yossel, he didn't know his name, sing the song one more time. I want that song to be in my skin and my bones. I want it just to be in my guts. And he sang the song again. And this is the story. And really, this is our story. Shabbos, in the difficult times, for the hundreds of years, Jewish people suffered terribly. Shabbos was an island in time and in space where they rose above the world. All the issues going on around them, all the difficulties from livelihood, from the pogroms, from the terrible things that were going on every time at its own, whatever they were experiencing. But yet, all of these things melted away when it came Shabbos. Shabbos was a time when we all realized we're kings and queens. We raised above. And now Shabbos is associated with the songs, the words of Torah we share on Shabbos. So now when we do Havdallah and we share a story, one of the reasons of the custom of sharing a story is that we want to carry Shabbos with us into the week. We go into the week, we're still challenged with our corona situation, even though in Quebec we're opening up a little bit more, but there's still a lot of panic and a lot of confusion, and people are not sure what to do and when to do and how to do, and they're still worried. And obviously you want to be safe, but at the same time, we got to go with the experience to say that this is not going to let us down. Our spirits are up. We're going to make the best of it. We're going to do as much as we can for ourselves to continue, make the week meaningful, and do as much Jewish things as we can. And we should all have the blessing we said before of parnasa, of livelihood, of brotherhood, of sisterhood. It should be quiet and peaceful all over the streets of America and the world. And we should ultimately have the biggest peace with the coming of Mashiach quickly in our days, and all of the best things for all of us. So I want to wish you all a Shavua Tov. We're unmuting everyone. You can wish a Shavua Tov. And I look forward to seeing you at different things going on this week, especially our Wednesday night evening with Ambassador Danon. Going to be an incredible evening, 7:30. So we look forward, but most importantly, we look forward to being physically together in one place, and in the greatest way.
All of you together.
Amen.
Amen. Soon.
So nice to see you.
Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov, Shavua Tov, Shavua Tov. Eliyahu Anibi, Eliyahu Atishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Agiladi b'meira. And Ellie, a happy birthday and a great week, a great year. I want you to make 2 weddings this year, God willing.
Thank you. Thank you. Amen. 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 Thank you
all the best. Chaim, all the best.
Thank you.
Want to hear your Bechat Kohanim soon.
All
Naviva, great Shavua Tov. All the best, my friends.
the best.